Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between ALF and MaNa. Here on Othello, top left-hand corner, it is the red Zerg player. It is ALF. He's Ukrainian, currently teamless, but formerly a member of ROX, which is why there's a ROX clan tag here. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the Polish Protoss player, MaNa. Alright, so it's going to be a PvZ here on Othello. The last time I cast MaNa on this map against a fairly unknown Zerg player, the Zerg player won. So, let's see how MaNa handles this guy. Alright, what are we doing? Silverlord scouting here, checking the build orders from the Zerg player Protoss. I'd be shocked if it's anything other than a one-gate style expand, although Othello is a very weird map in that you have pretty wide open big mains. Can be problematic. MaNa has some questions. ALF does not have answers for him, unfortunately. APM for these players, insane. 600 APM for ALF. Early stages. Is he named after ALF? Looking at it, I don't know. I mean, it's capital A, capital L, capital F, so maybe it's an acronym of some kind, but Liquipedia is not helping very much with this. He could just be that he's a huge fan of ALF, the TV show, when it was on in the late 80s. Did that make it into the 90s? When did ALF run? Tell you what, we're going to follow this probe. We're going to find out when ALF ran. ALF TV show. The internet says it started in 1986, and it ran to 1990. Okay, so there you go. Early 90s counts. Anyway, we're pooling here. Is that an overpool? That is an overpool. Opening here from ALF, so being aggressive but not as aggressive as he possibly can be. Also, nice scout. This is a I think it's a 4-player map. Yeah, 4-player map, and scouting cross-positioned first. Very nicely done to find the Zerg player. Here is ALF. Oh, look at him hiding the drone up. The Overlord saw the probe come in, hid the drone, so he can throw down the hatch in peace. Probe scouts the early pool, and really, this is just more of a defensive play, just in case something crazy was happening. He'd have the pool ready as necessary, but he's not planning on sending anything across the map at this stage of the game at all. Now, where's your expansion, is my question. Zealot out first. He maybe is going to try some Zealot pressure. That is a wide ramp to wall off with Zealots, MaNa. I don't know about this. I'm not convinced that is a great idea. Probe hiding, because the Lings are looking for him. The Lings are like, I saw you. I saw you come into my base. Just kidding, we're not looking for him at all. Let's just run across the map and see what we can do. Good number of Lings here. And again, one Zealot's not going to hold this line. So, are we going the wrong way? He doesn't know. He doesn't know where MaNa is yet because his Overlord's got in the wrong direction first. Oh, that's brutal. So he's making more Lings. He just made another set of Lings. Wow. He is, however, taking a quick third. Again, very easily accessible third base, wide open, but Zerg players don't care about that. With gas here. So you can go 3-base Zerg with gas pretty fast. The bad news for him is he scouted the wrong direction. If he scouted the right way, I kind of feel like he might have had a chance to win this game straight up with like 8 or 10 Lings that he's cruising across the map right now against the 2 Zealots. The numbers do not go very well for them, and with good micro, the Lings could cause some serious issues. That said, if we have one more Zealot or a Dragoon, something to help wall this off. Again, I don't think the Zealots are a hard wall. It'd be useful. But the Dragoon's not going to be here to help with this. So let's see if the Lings can run up here or not. Can they get past? My golly, are you serious? 2 Zealots can hold that ramp? I have been wrong. I have been wrong about the number of Zealots that can hold this wide ramp. That is so wide. Look how much space there is for running past if you're a skinny little Zergling. Whatever. Scouting probe says, I don't see any sign of a lair whatsoever. I don't see a second gas either. And so I don't really worry all that much about Mulisks at this stage. Stargate on the way, which means Corsair production is going to begin very soon. He didn't expand. MaNa is 1-base Corsairing this stuff. Again, hard to hold against a lot of Zerglings here. Really wide attack path into this natural. So you want to have enough army to deal with it before you expand. It kind of sucks that way, but the Zerg player is given an incredible advantage with 3 bases to the 1 base that the Protoss has. Now, again, the good news is we're looking at Zealots, Citadel of Adun here, maybe DTs. Corsairs should be unopposed for quite some time. Corsair Dragoon unopposed for quite some time here. Hydralisk Den is done. So we're going to make some Hydralisks. Here's ALF. The scouting probe finally dies. Again, knowing there's not a lair. So Spire not a part of the play here whatsoever. So we're going to want our Hydralisks. Going for Lurker Aspect would not be a bad thing, but it doesn't have the gas for it, unfortunately. And MaNa on one base needs to get some damage done. I don't want to say he has to kill a third base, but it's almost like he has to kill a third base. He's going to be further supply blocked by this. In fairness, he's making 2 Overlords, so he'll be supply blocked temporarily, but further. Nevertheless, my golly, still not taking an expansion. And a Templar Archives. So yeah, this feels like DT Corsair. Supply blocked is ALF. He's not actually making any Hydralisks at all. He's trying to kill a natural base of Manas, but there isn't one to kill. This is kind of incredible. He really is making the assumption that MaNa has expanded by now, but he hasn't. He's like, I just made 40 Zerglings for almost nothing. I'm being constantly supply blocked by Corsairs back home. I could have made some Hydras to defend, but instead I made a bunch of Lings that are doing nothing for me right now, other than seriously doing a good job denying MaNa's attempts to take a natural just by existing. Overlord down. Oh my gosh, are these Hydras not enough to save these Overlords? ALF is getting supply blocked into next week here, ladies and gents. No. You gotta get it. Okay, he got it. Another one here. All 3 Corsairs are alive. Oh, just kidding. One just died. But further supply block, behold. So 19 available supply of the 35 that ALF has. DT is moving out. Detection not looking too hot. There are 2 Overlords out right now from ALF, with 2 more on the way. DT is going to have a pretty good time with this. The Hydras, however, pretty good at chasing away. And honestly, maybe moving out with the Zealots, giving them legs, would be fantastic. MaNa finally feels safe to take his expansion at 9 minutes. And the good news is, it's only 18 to 30 workers. ALF spent a ton of resources on Zerglings that accomplished nothing. Again, delayed the expansion for MaNa, and that's about it. So I guess, in that sense, sure, it sort of counts, but MaNa can just do a Mater transfer down to the natural base. ALF's third base isn't saturated by any stretch of the imagination. He has 17 drones. 17 drones. All those Zerglings severely cut into his ability to make anything else. Like, you know, drones, for example. DT somehow escapes with exactly 7 HP, despite the presence of Overlords and a million Zerglings. That is not somewhere the DTs want to live. Is that somewhere you want to live? I don't think it's somewhere you want to live. It's not where I want to live. If I'm a DT, that's for sure. Storm being researched. You got the Templar Archives. Why not get Storm? That's what I always say. Lair is done for ALF. He's not doing anything with it, though. He's really, well, I guess he's making a Spire. Okay. So he is making a Spire perhaps to deal with the incoming shuttles and storm drops that are definitely going to be in his future here. I'd be shocked if we didn't see a robotics facility starting here as soon as the natural is ready to go. And it just about is. Mater transfer really well timed there for MaNa, but what else do we expect from this fellow? Is being well-timed transfers. So he scouts the Spire. Well done with the Corsair there. ALF might honestly want to expand again here, but again, he's having a hard time. He's having a hard time having enough minerals to make a whole ton of drones here, which is something every Zerg player can relate to, I believe. Singularity Charge finally being researched here for MaNa. Not as important to get versus Zerg as it is to get versus Terran, especially if the Zerg player isn't going for Lurkers. Singularity Charge not as big of a deal, although it is a good thing to have eventually. And that's why MaNa delayed it until just now. Range upgrade. Yep, range upgrade coming in for Hydras. And Alpha's been on 3 bases for approximately 7 minutes and really hasn't done much with them. Got a macro hatch coming up. He's got an evolution chamber on the way for upgrades. He's at 30 to 45 workers. He is at a distinct economic disadvantage here with a 2-basing Protoss with this worker count versus a 3-basing Zerg with this worker count. He could probably expand up here if he wanted to. DT striving to shut that down. Or, you know, maybe take this top right-hand corner. Seems like a pretty safe place to hold. Get some lurkers on the top of that ramp and call it a good day. But instead, we're spending a ton of money on Mutalisks. Okay, I did not expect him to go for a ton of mutas with all the money he was saving up there, but I guess it made sense. He wasn't getting lurker aspect, and that would be a lot of Scourge with all the gas he was saving. So we've got, well, no cannons in production. Our anti-air is actually not very good here for MaNa on the main base. Anyway, he's got a cannon. to defend against this. I don't think he sees this coming. Lurker aspect is now being researched. Alpha is droning up behind this style of an attack. And yeah, that one cannon, not going to work out. The one Corsair, not going to work out either here. Oh, 2 Corsairs. What? There are 3 Corsairs here? Since when are there 3 Corsairs here? I totally underestimated the forces of MaNa's defense in the main base here. He had 3 Corsairs sitting over this Nexus I did not spot. Never mind. The Muta choice was perhaps not very good. He killed, I think, 2 Corsairs in exchange for most of his Mutas, and everybody else is really hurt right now. Yeah, MaNa, that was a big time move for him in trying to win this game. So Overlord spread pretty good, even though, again, Corsairs are out on the field, and they're pretty scary that way. Looks like MaNa wants to take his own third. Again, very convenient, hard to hold. Can't really wall off this if you're a Protoss player at all against incoming Ling attacks. But I believe in MaNa's ability to keep this thing alive as necessary. Definitely going to throw up some cannons to assist with that defense, too. A lot of creeps on the way. I guess recognizing that if MaNa decides to move out, and he is, it's going to be a hard hold just with Lings and Hydras and a few Mutalisks that are severely injured. Are these guys, yeah, still severely injured here. Takes a while to regen the health. Joins the party a new Mutalisk with no HP, just like her friends. Just like his friends here. MaNa really hasn't mounted any kind of a major attack at all today other than 1 DT. And maybe some Corsair attacks, but this looks pretty significant. This drone is thinking about expanding, but also he knows. Great Storms. Is there really 1 Muta left? There's really 1 Mutalisk left. Oh boy, 113 to 74 supply. MaNa doing a lot better in this game than he did against Zazu the last time we cast MaNa on this match, or on this map. So here we go. Sunken's trying to save the day here, but there's only 2 of them. The 3rd and the 4th ones are popping just in the nick of time, so they can die. But hey, a few shots off is better than nothing if you're a Sunken colony. Yeah, Zergling Hydra, pretty good against this composition, especially if there's no storms remaining. And there are no storms remaining. Just kidding, there's 1 storm just barely remaining. Great storm. Wow. Great hit there. And maybe even enough for MaNa to fight back against this. Yeah, that changed it from MaNa into full retreat to MaNa being able to push back a little bit. And just kidding, reinforcing Zerglings are here with no upgrades, mind you, for the Zerglings. The +1 missile attack is done for the Hydras, and the +1 ground attack is done for the Dragoons. Now, this drone really needs to expand. Take this base, or take this base. Nope, 6 more Hydras in production. Okay, so Alpha is playing an aggressive style here, which again doesn't work super well versus Protoss. Not if you're going to be consistently aggressive from the tip like this. And especially not if MaNa is going to be able to defend this as well as he's been able to defend this. Get her an amulet on the way, increasing High Templar maximum energy. And actually sneaking on in to force a sneaky cancel on this Nexus, maybe. Just kidding, they're not attacking the Nexus at all. I think they're maybe trying to get some spines off on those probes. Okay, alright, that seemed pretty good. 3 kills on that Lurker is not bad. But there's detection available, and the Lurker Observer is coming in. The Lurker ends up with 6 kills. Not bad. MaNa's down to 51 probes. There's 41 drones for ALF, and still no 4th base. He's had 3 bases for an eternity in StarCraft time. Finally, there you go. Finally getting a 4th. A small handful of Lings and Hydras come down to try to do something against this giant Protoss army. I don't know what the plan here is exactly, y'all. I'm looking at it, confused a little bit as to why you're here. Yeah, just getting out. Getting out is a highly recommended course of action. Hive finally on the way at 13 minutes for the Zerg player. The Protoss is just doing what Protoss does. Zealots with speed. Got ourselves our Dragoons for Lurkers if necessary. Pretty good against Hydras with numbers too. And then some High Templar for Storm. Nothing crazy fancy. Not going for Reavers, not going for Arbiters here, which you don't usually see Arbiters against Zerg anyway. But Hive finishing up, and I'm wondering what Alf's endgame strategy is. He's got some Scourge to deal with the Corsairs and maybe the Observers, which is really annoying stuff, and try to keep these Lurkers alive. He's got a ton of them out. That +1 attack is nice. Attacking into the 3rd base is going to be difficult, but attacking into the 4th base, not as difficult. As there's literally almost nothing defending that, except for a handful of Zerglings, and I guess there are some Hydras out on the map too that are trying to avoid getting run down and chomped to death by this large Protoss force. Kind of sharking around the middle of the map right now. +1 melee attack is on the way, which is really good for the Zerglings. Beautiful storm dodge from Alf. Like, disgustingly good storm dodge there. he going to try to snipe? He's going to try to snipe those High Templar, is what he's doing. He's sacrificing some Hydralisks to do it, but one High Templar did go down. And the 4th base is done. There's just not enough here to save it. It's a good combination of Zealots and Dragoons and one High Templar with enough energy for 0 storms, but it's enough. The hatchery ends up going down, and that's a massive, massive victory for MaNa. I think he's just been playing this extremely patiently. He's taken a 4th base now, warping in down at the 6 o'clock position. The army heading down maybe to wipe it out, but he started from a position of being down 2 bases to his Zerg opponent to now being up a base to his Zerg opponents. That just shows how well the last 10 minutes have gone for him in this game. Oh, can you burrow here, burrow under this, and get these guys with vision? I bet you can. I bet if you have vision, you can do it. That's brutal. All right, High Templar, you got a storm now, right? Yes. You have a storm now, and doesn't get focused down here. Another great storm by another High Templar joining the party. One gets sniped down there. MaNa pulling back, not allowing himself to engage where the lurkers are very intelligently. There's just too much detection here and too much storm. The lurkers are getting absolutely massacred. MaNa is outclassing the Zerg player on a large scale right now. Ridiculous amounts of outclassing at this stage of the game. Kindness plating on the way, which indicates we might see Ultralisks. Not a guarantee, though. Left side base taken. No gas here from ALF. But as a replacement 4th, it's going to have to do. The problem is he's down 149 to 87 supply. There was a moment where this 4th base of MaNa was vulnerable, but that moment is totally past. There are 4 cannons here with additional ones coming up. You're not getting in there without defilers. It's not happening. You're not getting in there without defilers. 162 to 87 supply. Left side base. Great split on these lurkers. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's just not enough. The lurkers are a support unit. And if they just try to hold against an army like this, it's just not going to happen. Against a Protoss army, it's not going to happen. The Zealots trying to deal with the Lings on the right side. The +2 attack really helping them a lot here. Zealots on the left just focusing down the hatchery, not being worried about anything else, and the hatchery does end up going down. And they should be able to handle the rest of ALF's army here too. Although reinforcing Lings are cruising in, and they do have 1-1, and they're a little bit terrifying. Do they have adrenal glands? Ooh, good storm. Beautiful storm. 11 kills on that High Templar. Does snipe down one of the observers, which is nice. And the High Templar who got those 11 kills is now dead. Live by the sword, die by the sword. 6 Ultras. 6 Ultralisks in production here. The bad news for Alpha is he's on 3 bases, and he's been there forever now. He's lost his 4th twice. He really doesn't have a good avenue to get it at this stage, being down 40 supply to the Protoss player. Drone kind of running around trying to see where it can expand. This is not a good place because there's a Zealot up here at the 12 o'clock too. Pretty good Hydra control there. And does not finish off. Are you kidding? 2 HP. 2 HP on that High Templar. Those Hydras did everything they could to get rid of him, except kill him. Amazing. So here's the thing. Do you have... wow, this is a lot of Ultras suddenly. This is 5 armor Ultralisks. Going for speed? 8 of them? There's not a lot of splash damage here. Or, you know, Reavers or anything. So here we go, marching on in with Ultras against the Archons. Great storm. Getting on top of that Archon instantly, though, which is problematic. Great storm here. The Dragoons recognize they don't want to hold still for these Ultras. They have speed, though, and it makes it kind of hard to get away from them, especially your High Templar. And ALF has sort of turned this game around a little bit with the presence of technology that MaNa was not prepared for. Beautiful storms, though. I'm not going to say not entirely unprepared, just because storms are fantastic against everything. The problem is it reset the High Templar count. I think it utterly reset the HT count here for MaNa. Does he have any High Templar on the field? Not that I can see. So at this point, he's just making Zealots. He's making Dragoons. He's like, all right, yeah, see, attempting to expand to that top side does not go well for you. 4th base is back on the left side here for ALF. Trying to expand at the 12 o'clock here, too. So he wins an engagement for the first time today. thanks to the Ultralisks. They are all pretty bruised, though. If we look at it, 3 of them are very low on HP, down in the double digits. Not where you want to live if you're an Ultra, but additional Ultras in production now. And if you don't have Reavers and maybe a lot of Archons, I don't know about this. The +3 attack is nice for mana. It's really good, but the upgrades for the Ultras are pretty great across the board here. So working on that +3 attack, those Kaiser Blades. The thing is, Alpha needs to kill a base. He needs to expand twice or kill a base for this mathematically to work for him. And I don't know. I don't know if he has that in him, is what I'm trying to figure out right now. Air weapons on the way. What are you planning, MaNa? What are you doing? He's building more Corsairs. Maybe recognizing the Hydra count's going to be fairly low if all the gas is going into Ultralisks here. And once again, the 4th base is going to die. Alf is just out of position to save this. I don't know. Maybe there are enough Lings already here. Maybe enough Ultras in the fight to force... No, the hatch goes down. Okay. I thought for sure he'd be able to save that hatchery with the reinforcing units there and the Lings that were already there, but no. No, sir. 3 basing Zerg. Yeah, I really don't know if there's a way for Alf to win this game. I like the Ultras. I really do. But economically, he's just not on the same page as MaNa is. MaNa's taking a 5th base. Because at this stage, why wouldn't you do that? That melee upgrade takes forever, doesn't it? Zerg upgrades are an eternity. 10 Zealots at a time right now. Here we go. He's going to kill a base. If MaNa's out of position, happily massacre all you guys. The storm kind of hurting the Zealots more than anything else there. That was a great storm up north, though. That was really good. A lot of probes getting massacred. That is exactly what you want to be doing here if you are Alf, but a ton of Zealots showing up. Ultralisk Hydra, pretty good against Zealots. The Ultra's providing the buffer, but then MaNa come home, Daddy's home, and he's upset. And everybody who's found at the scene of the crime is dead. Some Ultras do manage to sprint away and escape to the top right-hand side here. But yeah, it's 107 to 144 supply. MaNa's economy not as healthy as it otherwise was. But look who's getting mined out here. I mean, Alf, his mineral economy is not very good. That 12 o'clock base he's long distance mining from because he doesn't know what else to do. There we go, hatch finishing right now. Pretty good timing from him, actually. Not too shabby. Robotics facility on the way. We might end up trying to go into Reavers here, as Reavers do have a lot of success versus Ultras historically. Is he going to kill this base? Is he going to kill the 4th base? Dude, Alpha's tried to take a 4th base for the last 20 minutes and has not been allowed. His hatchery is done. The army's out of position. They're just like, whatever. Let's move. Ling Ultra. Down to kill this base. We've got Storm. We've got cannons. We have a lot of Storm. We have a lot of cannons. But we have a lot of Ultralisks too. And the 2nd base is going to go down here for MaNa. So he loses that. Are we in full-on base race right now? MaNa is attacking the 3rd. I don't know if there's any stopping it for these Ultras. They're coming home anyway, though. I don't think they know about this base, which is a problem for them, because if they knew about this base, they'd probably kill it and maybe be in a better spot. But as it stands, there is just so much Storm available here. That High Templar has several Storms available. And every time I try to get a screenshot, MaNa runs away. Stand in and fight, MaNa! Oh, the Ultras are all stacked up. The Hydras are gone. This is just not enough. Drones coming in to try to fight, but all the Ultras are gone. 51 to 132 supply. That is your GG. Alpha lost his 3rd, his happiness, his source of income. He's done. He's not calling the GG, but his production tab is 14 Zerglings, which is not going to be enough versus the army here. 2 Ultralisks and 14 Lings, and a desperation attempt to jump on top of MaNa's army here. It doesn't seem like it's going to get done, ladies and gents. I mean, the micro and the kiting here of these Dragoons is really something to watch. It's really very nice. And you know what? That was enough. Alf did have enough to actually wipe out that Protoss army. He's still down 43 to 110 supply. He still doesn't have a 3rd base. Yeah, this is just too much. The Zealots are here. We've got some High Templar in the mix. And here's your final engagement. Alf knows it. He's bringing drones down to die. Don't know why he didn't retreat those at all. Taking a base on the left side again, which, I don't know, at this point could be the 3rd, could be considered the 4th. Reavers on the way here from MaNa. I don't know if they're necessary. There are like 20 Zealots here. The Lings and the Ultras just can't stand against that many Zealots with those levels of upgrades. And that's it. GG from ALF. Rematch, he says. Sure, says MaNa. S3, S3. ALF has left the game, and MaNa is your winner in 25 minutes and 18 seconds. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that game. I love seeing Ultras. We don't see them enough in games, in my opinion. But fantastic work. Fantastic work by MaNa. I was really worried for him when ALF was on 3 bases and MaNa was on 1. I felt that was problematic, but ALF, he needs to walk that line of how many units to make to stay alive and to pressure versus how many drones to make to have a great economy. And I just feel like if you're up 3 bases, just drone your face off. Make units as necessary. There's no reason to threaten to try to cancel a natural. You're already up big time. Let MaNa take his natural base, out-expand him again. Make your drones, and then you have a much bigger, scarier army sooner than you did today. I liked the Ultras, I did, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You never had a 4th base that you could hold, and that was the key to this game for sure. MaNa lost a couple of bases, but because he had enough bases to keep it going, and this one on the left side, which again, I don't think ALF ever knew about it, he was able to get that win. Nice job by MaNa. 159,000 points for the Zerg, 187 for MaNa. Killed 420 units. Did MaNa, and ended up losing only 185 of his 270. Resources across the board. MaNa actually out-mining and out-spending the Zerg player, despite the fact the Zerg player had those 3 bases early, could not capitalize, and MaNa got the win. All right, well, that's going to be it from me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.